Hello everyone, I am Golden Devin-Foxy remastered again. And I'm back everybody, I'm back. Just as I said I would. But anyway, hope that you guys enjoyed 3 of 3 reaction videos so far. Which apparently, yes, I'm actually going to say this, that well, congratulations on the Texans for finally winning against the Bills. Which I'll say congratulations a bit, for the Texans that did a great job. I actually am going to be very pleased for them, which I think they did pretty good so far. Which I mean, if they do keep this up a little bit, very much of good winning, then it'll actually make me feel a bit happier for them to win. But Seahawks, oh yeah, I can still vibe a little bit for them too, but just for a good way exactly. So I'd say is good job for pretty much likely Texans for finally winning against over the Bills, which that's actually a pretty good job. So yeah, thank God, a little bit of a good job for them. And I'll say this, by the way, in all fairness and fair odds, by the way, is if like imagine this, if I'm gonna say the word if, if Texans do over face against the Colts, by the way, that they'll have to face against the very only number one in the which decision that would which one would that be? Oh yeah, the South conference. Yeah, pretty much in the A, exactly in South. Which if they actually do kinda, let's just say, if Texans, by the way, win a 7 and pass against the Jaguars, that the Jaguars will go under beneath near the Titans, I'm gonna be like, no freaking way. Did the Texans actually did it? I'm like, no way. There has to be no way, right? Like for me, that would be my reaction. Seriously, it would be my reaction. Like, bro, think about this for a minute. I'm gonna say this. If Texans do beat the Colts for finally getting a 7-5, which they probably would get a 7-5, and the Colts apparently would get an 8-3. If they get if they get a 3 apparently on 3 losses, I'm like, shit, no way. Like I'd be saying, no way. If Texans could really beat the Colts, by the way, I think on their week would consider to be is week 13, which they probably might go to the Colts Stadium. If they really do beat them, by the way, I'm like, no way, dude. I'd be like, no freaking way, dude. Like if they do that, I'm like, damn, that's pretty impressive. I'd be saying is the word damn. Like, damn, bro. Like, I'd be saying, damn, man, all the freaking above and all the way. Like, that would surprise me in many ways possible. So, if they do that, I'm like, yeah, I think it's going to be in a very interesting landslide for me. That's going to be an interesting landslide. So, if they beat the Colts, then I'm going to be surprised. That if they do that, I'm like, let's freaking go. But if not, by the way, well, yeah, safe than sorry, then I'm going to probably just, what I'm going to do. If Texans do lose, apparently. Which, all I'm just going to be mentioning about is their encounters, how Texans were facing against the Broncos all the way to the very side over near to Colts, which apparently I think that might be the only solution if that comes to that, by the way, or comes down to that. Then we'll see what happens in the end of the season or something. We'll see what happens at the end of it. But I guess I'll be very surprised that we're all going to see something very interesting, something so much interesting we could ever finally see and bear to witness for the very only time we're going to witness. So that's all I'm going to do, and that's all I want to say to put my sense at the table and put my common sense and knowledge in the sense of the table. So that's all I want to talk about, that's what I want to discuss about, and pretty much say all of that. And now, let's just get to the video itself, and let me say this, by the way, that all I'm going to say, by the way, that it's going to be a time that there's no going to be any separated, by the way, that there's not going to be any separated videos for a bit for like the Fanta drinks. It's going to come into all full in one. It's going to be in full of one. That I'm still going to be reviewing, by the way, by the end of it, by the way, which that's what I'm going to say right now. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to say right now. And yes, by the way, I'm definitely going to drink. The one last one is just the pineapple of the Fanta drink with no Michael Myers on it. That's going to be a shame anyway. So I'll just like do that and then it'll just poof, it'll just be gone. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And let's continue right back the video anyway. So here's what I'm going to say first. Is I want to say is that whoever is ready to see 5 fights at Freddy's, which, by the way, just remember, it's going to bring back the good old amazing days. Just like a memory, just like a very good memory. That's all I want to be pointing out in the table, and that's what I want to point out exactly. That, yeah, by the way, it's going to look pretty damn interesting a little bit by seeing like 5 animatronic characters. Like, five characters. Literally 5 characters. Like they're gonna fight each other. Like I think it's gonna be like night 1, night 2, night 3, and night 4, or whatever. I think it's gonna be 4 fights. I think there's gonna be only 4 fights, by the way. And each separate part video that's gonna probably be in the solution of the table. And yes, by the way, I know I might have to be pretty much likely making a few bit of questions, by the way, beforehand. And I probably might say this too, by the way, for those who might actually be hearing the gameplay like fade in or fade out, just remember, by the way, and positively remember, by the way, if the game somehow fades in or maybe fade out a little bit, then it's just going to have a different how do I say this? It's going to be a little bit of a different effect. That you might hear my voice a little bit. Like, sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. I almost kind of heard like a thunk noise or something. I don't know. It's just coming from the damn fucking kitchen, so don't worry about it. So, yeah, I am just trying to avoid anger at this point. I'm just trying to avoid anger sometimes. Like, here's an example for most everybody is that for those who are new to my channel sometimes, and for those who are new, by the way, who friends me on Steam, by the way, who just likes to friend me on Steam, I just want people to understand and know about, by the way, is that I always might have anger issues because I just want to have a bit of a quiet place a little bit, just quiet enough for me just to be busy to just get the video done and get the videos out of the way, which, that's just my point in theory at suggestion at hand. That's what I'm just saying. So, anyway, let's just get this progress over with and let's just get this entire video out of the way and have this done so I don't have to deal with it later. So, anyway, without further ado, folks, let's begin the video and let's begin the review in all 3 Fanta drinks. By the way, 3 that I'm going to say. I'm not going to be sure if it's going to all be in there in the subtitle. I'm not going to be sure if it's going to be in the title, by the way. I'm not trying to say subtitles. I was trying to say the word title, by the way. So hopefully enough, it could fit as somewhere I can try at least, but we're gonna see. Like, we're gonna see. But, hopefully so. And maybe we'll find out. So without further ado, again, everyone, let's begin this video. Let's start this hearing right now, starting in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin the video. And yes, the very first Fanta drink I want to be mentioning first is that we're gonna do something backwards. Very, very backwards. Which usually, like I said, I know we do forward sometimes, but this time I'm going to do something a bit Uno reverse card, a little bit like an Uno reverse a little bit, and just do that, for example. So, here we go. So, the very only Fanta drink I want to pretty much say, by the way, as I'm going to hold on the screen for everyone, so I can just show it to you guys, by the way, is here we go. So the first Fanta drink, or should I say, the very third Fanta drink is Chucky's Punch. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are seeing this right here of your very only eyes on the laptop recording screen. Right here. Chucky's Punch, baby. Chucky's Punch. Now, by the way, it tasted so freaking well. Like, the vibe. I want to be explaining about how the hell it tasted so good. So let me say, why did it taste it so good? Or should I say I would sound this in the Black Yoshi because I would say this. Or should I say, sorry, I'm just trying to do the voice, but the voice is a little hard to do. Black Yoshi by saying is like, because it tastes so good. Because he would just say is like, Mario, please give me the new Call of Duty. Or should I say, Mario, give me the new chicken poopa sandwich? Sorry, I just love doing the little bit of the imitation voice of the character a little by saying is like, just like the sandwich thing, I just love hearing about a little bit, which was kind of funny. Which, don't get me wrong, it's about jokes are a little hilarious a bit. Sometimes I just like about better is just the jokes for sometimes. But, like I said, I might get a little catch up to a little bit of that later, if I ever do attend to do a reaction video. Which, by the way, I probably would normally just react to the video anyway, in the re-uploaded version, just re-uploaded, not the current right now, the present. I'm just saying about the, just the re-upload version. I'm just saying. So, what I'm going to say here is that we're going to continue on with the review, which I'm not just going to, like, get a little bit sidetracked a little bit here. So, yeah, I probably won't waste your guys' time until we continue at the end of the questions. Is that, let me just tell you guys this, is how good did Chucky's Punch tasted? It tasted like the best formula I ever fucking tasted. Like, the taste of it is so freaking good, it just brings back Chucky vibes. Brings about that good laugh. Like, he always has the best amount of laughs that any character would have ever performed a little bit. Even if he's a killer doll at first, I understand that. We all get that by any reason. It's always about magic or voodoo doll magic or whatever, by any means necessary of any kind of magic differences between how Chucky only experiences anything. But at this point for me, I have to say, the drink kind, by the way, just the drink of itself tasted so freaking good. And it kicks so freaking well that my heart started actually feeling it. I'm like, no freaking way. Like, seriously, no freaking way. I was like so freaking pumped. I was pumped. That I actually tasted it so freaking good. That it actually tasted so freaking good that I'm like, no way. Like, how good did that vibe really tasted? The vibe itself was actually good. Now, let me just say that the drink itself was beautiful and amazing. Just Chucky's drink was good. I give it an 8 out of 10 because of its greatest taste of all time I've ever experienced anyway, and gave it a good way of taste, which was the best thing I ever tasted in my lifetime. Like, bro, Fanta needs to do all of this in Halloween. I'm seriously saying this for real. I'm being serious. Like, Fanta really needs to do this more often because this shit is amazing. No, seriously, I actually would give him so much credit as I would actually be pleased for that about. I'd rather be so appreciated for them to do that. Even hell, I actually would be so pleased again if Fanta continued more of this of like next year 2026 of Halloween would be the best shit I would ever taste it again. And yeah, I know that they might have to do more recent horror killers again. That I think that what Fanta probably would do, by the way, is have a Jason Voorhees drink and a Freddy Krueger drink and pretty much Ghostface. And what else am I thinking? Oh yes, Pennywise. Definitely don't forget about the clown. Don't forget about the shape-shifting clown. Absolutely not. Or should I say, the dancing clown? Yeah, the dancing clown. So, I almost forgot about most of that. Which, seriously, that would be interesting. And also, yet, by the way, if Fanta, and I know I might say this differently, if Fanta by any chance already, would make another Fanta drink that would be so tasty, it would have the good shit of kind. the good shit. The very best kind of best shit, a little bit good. Sorry if I might say a few S words a little bit. I know I'm just getting a little pumped a little and excitement, or having a little bit of some medium adrenaline a little bit for me, a little bit of medium adrenaline. Is that, let me say this, is that if Fanta makes a Sonic.exe Fanta drink, I'm gonna scream wildly amazed a little bit. I would be freaking amazed. Just some common knowledge and a bit of sense that if they do ever make that Fanta drink of Sonic.exe from a game that I know it's not from the movies or anything, but I'm saying this just only for a different request kind. If they do make that kind of drink, I'm gonna go wild. And I'm gonna actually be screaming with joy and a little bit of so much scream that I might love it. And I'm like, no way. Are they doing this for real? Like, seriously, I know it's not like official or anything. I may think it's just a little bit unofficial for any reason, but for me, it's just a little bit of excitement for me that I just might feel a bit of something like that. So there you go. That's all I want to say about my theories. That they should probably make another one soon enough by a few different characters. That they should do, by the way. The only thing I would want to see, what pretty much they would make, by the way, is having a Jason Voorhees, a Freddy Krueger, a Pennywise, a Ghostface, a Sonic.exe, Fanta drinks. If they make those 5 different tasted flavored drinks for those, that I'm gonna totally get. And also, by the way, I know I haven't got the strawberry Fanta drink, which I know I haven't got that, but I may think they might actually still do the same thing again, just like last Halloween of this year of 2025. Before we even do just seem like a few bit of moments before we reach to the next year of 2026 while they still bring more Fanta drinks out there. If I do get the strawberry Fanta drink, or pretty much the Megan one too, by the way, which I never even got anyways, or maybe the Golden Freddy kind, which I think they probably never send it here in a little bit of somewhere in the US, but not really sure. It's a little bit different of a mystery kind. A bit of a mystery exclamation point kind of thing. Like, I'm not going to get into titles or get to anything else a bit unrelated questions or a little bit of some a bit less info kind. So that's all I wanted to say, and that's just why I want to bring out my points and suggestion. Only around 18 minutes of the talk of this conversation. So let's get to the next conversation about the pineapple drink, which I know I still am actually blaming a bit of the idea for, however, that there should have pretty much been a Michael Myers icon in there, which they should have done that in a drink, but no, I had to re-edit it and just do it something else, which, I'm not going to name something I'm not going to specifically care about. I'm not going to say a name because I don't want to ask too many unrelated questions. So that's just what I'm just saying. I don't have to answer questions, or I may have to answer questions because we all got stuff to not to say at this point sometimes, where we may get or won't get to say sometimes because, you know, we got all choices. We can say questions, or it's okay. We don't have to say it. That's fine. So it's just a part of life. Sometimes that's all I want to say that I grew up doing with so or whatever. But let's just focus. The main point at hand is that here we go. Here is the pineapple. Pineapple Fanta pineapple drink. Or should I say, just Michael Myers pineapple Fanta drink. Or should I say, not Michael Myers Fanta drink. So, hold on. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Alright, so here we go. So, here it is, everybody. There it is. The Fanta pineapple drink. And yes, by the way, I'm going to be drinking this, by the way, that, I actually would drink this anyway because it doesn't have like an icon, just like Freddy Fazbear's does and Chucky's does, by the way. That yes, I will be drinking that first of the pineapple drink, which that's what I'm going to be doing of the Fanta drink. So there you go. That's all I wanted to say, and that's all I wanted to pretty much be pointing out right now. That, like I said, by the way, it's pretty impressive, not gonna lie, but it actually tastes pretty damn good. So I have to say, hold on. So let me tell you guys an interesting conversation for right now. Let me tell you guys this interesting conversation. So here we go. Now, this interesting conversation I want to point out and discuss, by the way, with everyone here a little bit on my channel is that, okay, so when I tried Michael Myers' pineapple drink, it literally tasted like pineapples. It tasted like pineapples, which, okay, I have nothing against pineapples, which I don't specifically hate anything than pineapples. I have to say, pineapples were alright itself, but I think when it's just like too a little bit like sorry. So when it tastes like literally pineapples, I know I'm gonna say the word. It does literally taste like pineapples, which it actually does, by the way. So, all right. So, just trying to clear my throat, everybody. Just trying to clear my throat. So, yeah. So pineapples, by the way, I have nothing against pineapples. I literally have 0% against pineapples. Like, when pineapples get a little bit different flavored, that it normally won't sit with me with my lips a little bit, it would probably just, I don't know. It just has like a different use of pineapples that sometimes, you just might have to be aware of pineapples if they have to poke a little bit with like around everything else, or maybe have something a little bit have to do with the fact a little bit it might just have a bit of a different sense of me not liking pineapples, which I almost didn't like pineapples a little bit, but until I drank the Fanta drink of the pineapple, that shit tasted better than any pineapple, like any regular pineapple I ever drank in my life. Seriously, I would rather die for this Fanta drink. I'd rather just love this kind of Fanta drink with that and then the regular pineapple. Like, I mean, the drink of this is beautiful and magnificent. That it just brings something so freaking fresh at the table that it just breathes so much air. For a little bit of my throat, of my Adam's apple, to finally breathe. Literally breathe from my breath a little bit to just enjoy the feeling and enjoy the thrill of the feeling a bit for that. So that's all I wanted to say. That, bro, the pineapple drink is amazing. Or should I say, Michael Myers' pineapple Fanta drink was like beautiful and magnificent. It was actually so freaking tasty. Like, yes, I did try it in a regular bottle, by the way. That I tried it in a bottle. I drank it, by the way. It was so good. And even in the canned versions, they tasted so good too that I actually still give that a bit of good credibility in their part. Which that's all I wanted to say too. And also, I will say this at the end of the video, like usual, by saying as I don't pretty much own anything. It just belongs to the original company and people that they made. Exactly. Since Halloween did end it anyway, which I still will not continue talking about it anyway until I just have this video finished. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. That it tasted so good. Really, it tasted that good. So, here is the last thing, by the way. And I mean, here is the last one that I wanted to show you guys. One last thing that's going to hit so freaking tasty that I'm going to love the only flavored in the only world that's in the middle with me right now, that I'm going to show you guys this example of this interesting, infamous, amazing character that everybody loves, the main character of its own pizzeria in the middle of the stage to entertain the children of enjoying some pizza, a Freddy Fazbear's pizza. But anyway, I haven't showed it up yet, but I'll still that I may still say it right now. So anyway, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Here it is, everybody. That's right. That's right. The Freddy Fazbear Fanta drink. Woo! Yes. 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 That's right. This, by the way, is the last one, folks. That it is Freddy Fazbear's Fanta drink. The Freddy Fazbear Fanta drink. Blood, or should I say, orange flavored. Yeah, I thought it was like blood orange flavored, but I guess I'm just gonna say the word orange flavored. Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna say this, folks, is that okay, when I tried the drink, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, and I'm gonna be for real for everybody, and be honest with everyone for right now, that yes, that drink, I'm gonna say right now, that the drink of the orange flavored Freddy Fazbear Fanta drink is so good. I give this a 10 out of 10. That dude, it tasted so freaking good. That the meme itself, by the way, is by saying is like, yeah, by saying is that shit tastes good. By saying is like I have that in my system, like saying is like, man, I gotta try one of these when I take a shit of these. And then the Golden Freddy jump scare just shows up in the end. But anyway, let me just tell you guys this that I already know about the meme. So many times I've already saw that meme, but I'm just loving to enjoy that anyway. So, here we go. So, why did I love the drink of blood no, sorry, not blood. I'm just mentioning to say is orange flavored. Yeah, orange flavored. Is that why did I love that drink? So I gave it a 10 out of 10 is because why did I give it a 10 out of 10? It's because I loved the drink. I loved the best kind of the world of the drink. That dude, it tasted so freaking better. Like Freddy Fazbear vibes are like literally the best thing I've ever tasted. Like, dude, it tasted so good that it normally would be the best kind in the world I'd ever tried. Like, not only I tried it, but I said was that, whoa, this changes my perspective. That it tasted so good that, dude, I actually love it. Like, I literally love it exactly. So, that's all I wanted to say by any chance. So, there you go. Alright, just move that way. There we go. Alright, so I have to say, by the way, that dude, the Freddy Fazbear drink is amazing. I'll tell you this. It's amazing. It tasted so better than anything else. Like, okay, the orange flavored actually was good. For once, it was actually good. Not in a disrespectful manner, but it tasted so damn good that I'm actually just enjoying it. That I'm just thrilling to enjoy anything of it. Like the drink itself was just the best kind in the world. Like it was good. It was amazing. It had the best energy. Like the best kind of the kind I ever tried before. That was so good once in my lifetime that it actually had the best, and I mean the very best thing I ever had tried. So yeah, the drink itself was good, and it was awesome. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say, and that's what I pretty much wanted to say anyway. So there you go. And of course, I'll be mentioning about the post soon enough that I might get to the post that I want to say is that yes, I will be sure as hell to mention about the community post, by the way, is I will actually say this to everyone that yes, what's going to be official right now, that guess what? Here's going to be the official right now for the next gaming. The next official, everybody, is Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. And if you guys want to watch that video of me doing part 1, whenever I have that ready, part 1 is going to happen. And yes, and I mean it by being serious for a minute and being a bit honest with myself a little bit, that yes, the very only time that this is going to be a good thing a little bit for me a bit is that I'm going to start playing Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. And no, I'm not going to be mentioning about the VR because for me, I don't like virtual reality, which I mean, people could like or dislike about virtual reality, and I know it might be too hard to challenge, and I understand that crap. I really understand that. People could have different options of that reason to have which versions are better. Is the non VR or just regular VR like always? So I know people are gonna say is like, oh, why do you not like virtual reality? It just like feels like so different in virtual reality when it's just interesting. Okay, first of all, I know I'm not gonna make a rant of it anyway, but I'm just wanting to make a explanatory for people who those don't understand or don't understand about me a little bit why I don't take my chances with VR that much. I don't actually like doing VR. I mean, it could be people's opinions. I understand that. But here's my choice is that what I'm going to say is my choice and my decision. So if I say I make that clear, then I make that clear. So here's what I'm going to say is first of all, why am I going to say this? So, why do I dislike virtual reality? Okay, so why do I dislike that? The reason why I dislike virtual reality is because it's a bit, a bit of an endless cycle. It just, just makes your mind flip or change or something. It just goes through you like your mind or something or a little bit. Because I mean, for me, I think it's just too obsessive and it's just too a bit much for me to take. I mean, for myself, like myself as a man, I would never kind of take any of that, of like the virtual reality. I mean, I might still understand it a little bit, but just for me, the answer is obviously going to be the word no each time. When I say the word no, I mean, I don't have to say no if I don't have to, but there is going to be a time when I say no, because there's going to be a time when I say is you better hopefully be prepared when I say my answer. When my answer is the right answer, then I hope to say is respect the answer. So that way that people can understand positively without negativity. So the answer is no. I am not going to try virtual reality. I'm not going to try it. I seriously will highly ever doubt that I will never do that ever, and I mean ever and ever again, that I won't try it. And also, even hell, I do have a Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted on my Nintendo Switch, which I prefer the Switch over than virtual reality. Sorry, I only would rather prefer the Nintendo Switch number one, then virtual reality. That I prefer to have that over virtual reality. Yes, thank you. That's all I wanted to say. That I prefer the Nintendo Switch, the first game, or should I say the first Nintendo Switch, over virtual reality. Or should I say virtual reality? Yes. So, end of discussion, end of story, and end of the debate. Thank you. And there'll be no more of those negative questions anyway. Just positive questions, and if don't have to, that's fine. Free of choice and free of freedom. That's it. So let me just get back to my point of discussion here. Is about I'm just about to like wrap this video up and have it done. So here's what I'm gonna say by the end of the video, and here's what I'm gonna say by the entire end of how I finish this video anyway. Like usually like regular times, like always like regular times like anyway. So here's what I'm going to say for right now. So here's what I'm going to say before we wrap this video up and before we entire likely to wrap this video up. So here's what I'm going to say. Please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way you guys again absolutely will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. So that way that you guys again will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. And I hope to say this again is thank you guys so much for enjoying my videos. Really appreciate it and totally absolutely appreciate it. And also, of course, that I hope that you guys are so much ready for a new adventure, for me taking on a new opponent or a new challenge. That is something is about like master of manipulation. That yes, I'm going to be taking on another trap, taking on another trap against the character that's going to be facing against a certain character that we may all knew about from Five Nights at Freddy's 3 all the way from FNAF 6, or should I say Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, as of course, and of course the Ultimate Custom Night, and of course finally Help Wanted, that I'll be taking on another certain character, which I can say the character's name is Glitch Trap. So, the reason why I'm going to take on against Glitch Trap, by the way, is I might face Glitch Trap, by the way, as I'm going to do all the challenges and tasks that I know I may not fight him, but I may fight him in off screen a little bit and may face him a bit off screen until I actually beat his ass and actually took care of him. So that's what I might probably do. And also, I might have to be aware of the evil souls again that I might have to be aware of certain characters who were not freed by this curse of Shadow Freddy's control that he did a long time ago before I had to reverse all of it. Which, by the way, I think he's finally giving it to Glitch Trap, I think, which I think that's a bit possible. But I think whenever I saved Shadow Freddy, he was no longer in control of that curse anymore. So I guess it's going to be called a reverse Uno card that's going to be called Glitch Trap's Mind Control. Or for instance, Glitch Trap's Power Control, I think. So that's all I can say for now, and I guess that Glitch Trap is maybe going to be the next responsible character who might be defeated by me, by yours truly. And yes, I know there might be some characters out there from the Finds of Freddy's games that might be a little bit somewhere from certain games that were mystery or a little bit somewhere different. So, anywho, with all that being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And by the way, I do not own the Fanta drinks. I was only here to make a review of the Fanta drinks. And I know I was going to make some extra time anyway to make a bit of extra, conversations, a little bit of what I have to say and what I had to go and say on and on. Before we do proceed to do is the help wanted exactly with the entire parts in the game, which, that will still continue exactly after 5 fights at Freddy's is done. I mean, it's going to be a bit short. It's going to be a bit like part 1 from part 5, so I think I have nothing to worry about from part 1 to part 5. I mean, after all, it's just going to be 5 animatronic characters who are going to fight each other anyway, so that's all I wanted to let you guys know about, and that's all I wanted to say thereon and thereon exactly. So, anyways, like I said, I do not own any of the Fanta drinks. I was only here to do a review of it, and that's only what I'm going to say. So, anyway, I guess it's going to be a good thing. I'm going to try some, pretty much likely some a bit of like lozenges, since I'm going to go ahead and just take one anyway. So, here we go. Alright. Guess I'm just going to try to like rest my throat so that way I just don't keep on talking and talking a little bit much. So I'm going to just probably just take my time and then I'll get back to talking and then just wrap this entire video up. So anyway, give me a second. Let me just do what I got to do first. There we go. Yep, that's one. Yep, there's two. And there's three. Alright. Like I said, by the way, I just have to just like, like I said, it's like a vampire, by the way. It's just like, just drinking out of like the juice out of it. Like I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be like weird or anything. I'm just trying to say what normal vampires would say. They would suck out of it a little bit by saying is like, oh, they're gonna suck your blood, but it's in a reverse different that it's not gonna be blood. It's only gonna be its juice. By saying is like how tasty it would look like from the in and outside of the lozenges that I'm just taking every single bit of the day because, I always have to clear my throat so that way that my throat doesn't get any deeper, which, I try to avoid have my throat a bit deeper. I'm just trying to say that I just want to like have it a bit normal a little bit without having a bit of like a bit of a different problem because, reasons. Exactly, because I just have to take some of them a little bit of every day, a little bit. Sometimes, but not too much, like literally too much. That's all I'm just saying, so that way I don't have to like overthrow my throat just being worse, just to like not make it a little bit clear as I can just say that my throat a bit for right now. So that's all I want to say. Anyway, like I said, 4 things before we get going is please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way you will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. So that way that you guys, again, will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. And also, by the way, I actually want to give you guys another update, by the way, of something different that changed, by the way, in YouTube. that I did take a look on the studios a little bit. That hold on, I actually did see it by the way for a minute. I actually looked by the way. It was near promotions. Like I'll actually explain the next video somehow if I ever do have the next amount of time with the video before I just kind of wrap this up. Is that the name will be is collaborations. So yeah, I'll explain about collaborations a bit later, and maybe a bit later some point if I have free time a bit. Since I am probably going to focus about Thanksgiving a little bit, which it's not going to be a Thanksgiving stream because I remember what happened last time. That shit wasn't funny. You know, I mean, it was kind of okay at first, a little bit, but I had to deal with shit. I had to deal with like a bit of like individuals I had to deal with, so I had to get the fight stopped exactly. I had to stop the fight and I had to get that done. I just had to separate the fight away without like, not making things too bullshit. Which, by the way, I actually am siding by the way with Zach Cash. By the way, since my option and my freely option are final because I'm not going to trust a person who probably would be a bit misspoke a little bit or misspoken a little bit or maybe have a bit of a different something to not understand sometimes is that again, I'm not going to be talking about things like, oh, I have to be the one stopping it, which I actually did, by the way. Like, what a real adult would do is stop a fight because, I mean, sure, it may still get a bit all right until then, but when I just, like, stop for a minute until I actually think a little bit to say it, then that's when it's time I snap the finger and says, knock the frick off, or I will have to pretty much just put in a timeout. Just separate a bit of some like that, just to add the timeout or something. Like saying like, you know what, you're gonna get a timeout, and then maybe learn to think of a little bit of a lesson, and just maybe learn something from your actions a little bit, and maybe just have a clear attitude when you come back in here and start talking regularly like anybody is, or just have a nice attitude. That's all I'm saying. But, let's not focus about that anyway, since I don't want to be reminded again about saying like, oh, it's going to be the same thing as last time. No, actually, it isn't. So I don't want to probably say it, and I don't want to mention it anyway, because it's just going to be pointless like any other else, so I don't want to be the one saying that. So let's continue the video and let's get this done. So that way I don't have to pretty much just deal with it again. So here we go. So what I want to say is thank you guys for being patient and thank you guys so much for enjoying this video. I could have really appreciated so much likely for everybody to enjoy it. So thank you very much. So anyway, with that being said, is thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you guys again for watching. Please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. Thank you. Anyway, like that being said, I'll see you next time. And I also do hope to swear that the Texans could beat the Colts, which I'll be surprised until further notice if they do beat, by the way, if they do actually beat, if they do ever beat the, damn it. Okay, if they ever do beat the Colts, by the way, I'm going to be literally surprised. Like, if they beat the Colts, I'm like, holy damn. Like, if they beat them, by the way, they might overthrow the Jaguars. Like, they might still get a 6, which, hold on a minute. I think I'm going to probably say this one more time. So, if Texans win, by the way, by a 7, I'm like, yeah, Jaguars, you're done. You guys are going to go all the way down, all the way near to Titans, at the south side of the decision of the American Conference. So, again, by other words, by other means, if by the way, if Texans do win and beat the Colts, they're going to be at the second place, which I'm going to be like, yo, let's go. Like, let's go. Like, if they do that, by the way, I would be so surprised that no any other team would have done that. Anyway, like, they overthrow the freaking Bills by so much, literally. Like, I think they beat them by a 23-19, which is freaking wild, man. I was almost going to lose my hope for them to lose, but nope. I guess something proved to me something that, hey, I guess something could fix a little bit of some interesting kick wins for once. A little bit. Which, like I said, I still do approve the Bills kicking the Chiefs' ass, which I think they deserve to do that. Which I think I give the Bills so much a bit of credibility that Chiefs wouldn't deserve anything. Like, bro, they literally were cheaters, so I can't tell them to say as much because I don't give a shit about them. I don't give once a shit and not even care for a shit. Because, I mean, I'm not going to support a team who actually just cheats for the referees and gives them a bit of, like, cheats. So, hell no. I won't become a cheater. And I will certainly as hell will not become a cheater as a fan for Chiefs. So, how about FUCK and OFF? So, don't really give a shit. So anyway, now let's just end this video so that way that this video doesn't become longer of this review. So sorry, I'm just trying at least to be a bit polite in this video for a bit, at least a bit polite, just to kind of make this as a bit of somewhat of a long video, to just kind of have my conversations a little bit before they kind of end anyway. So let's just get to the chase of the end and wrap this up anyway. So with that being said, I'll see you next time. I'll see you guys at 5 Fights at Freddy's from part 1 to part 5. And then finally, the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted on the community post is going to be ready soon enough. That it's going to definitely be ready. So, like that being said, I'll see you guys for the next video. And then, in the next time. So thank you for watching. And this is Golden Devin-Foxy Remastered again. And I'll see you in the next video. And the second king, by the way, baby, is going to come back. The second king is going to come back, which is me, by the way. I will come on back and definitely do what I'm still going to continue and resume to continue. So, anyway, like that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time. Sign off and sign out. Later and adios. Bye-bye, everyone. And see you next time. Bye-bye now. And see you later. Sign off. Right now. And bye-bye, everyone. See you later.